Meet Spartanburg's answer to a Beverly hillbilly. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the lobby of the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We're focused on the city, and we're visiting with its city manager, Mark Scott. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in early on a Thursday morning.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
I think we're going to be honored to have your honorable mayor, the Bill Barnett, tomorrow morning here. Yesterday had a circuit judge from Kershaw and Richland counties, Judge Allison Lee, and kicked off the week with Joe Sanders. We've had a fascinating week here. And, of course, last week we were here almost all week here in the auditorium for the Miss South Carolina pageant, which was incredible.
It's a great event.
It really is. Year after year. It sounds like an event that's been held here in Spartanburg for more than a decade.
Yeah, we're very proud to have the opportunity to host the Miss South Carolina pageant. This is a big deal for our community and something we're real excited every year to see come along.
Oh, yeah. And this auditorium, a lot going on here. You have some big acts that perform here. I hear about Vince Gill, and they coming up or recently held an event here. Just a lot happening here.
Yeah. They put regular number of real high quality acts, and we have a lot of fun with the Memorial Auditorium people. Good group of folks.
Mark, about yourself, are you originally from the area?
I'm actually born and raised in California. Spent most of my 58 years in California, and found my way to South Carolina only 5 years ago.
Is that right? Wow. What were you doing out in California prior to arriving here in Spartanburg?
Well, I get a lot of kidding because the job I had for 20 years before I moved here was city manager of Beverly Hills, California.
Oh, come on. Like Beverly Hills Cops or Beverly Hills 90210?
Like the famous zip code, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, 90210. Is that just one zip code for the city, or are there multiple zip codes in the city?
Well, there's actually three,
right.
But you don't want to live in the other two. You want to live in 90210. That's right.
How was it like living in Beverly Hills?
Well, I'm sure that it was exciting for people who lived in Beverly Hills. I myself, as a government employee, commuted in and out of the city every day.
No.
But, it was a great place to be.
Well, at least they allowed you to be a government employee and not have to live right there in the city.
Yeah, it was more or less a choice. They could either have paid me a minor fortune to afford to live there,
right,
or they could have tolerated my commuting in every day, and they chose the latter, but it was a great place to work.
Any great celebrities? And, of course, this focuses on the city of Spartanburg, but I'm sure a lot of folks want to know, did you ever, any big celebrities you got to interface with as the city manager out there in Beverly Hills?
Well, it's actually an everyday thing because
Really?
The celebrities are real people. And especially the older celebrities, the Jack Lemmons and the Jimmy Stewarts and the Gregory Pecks, were just delightful people, members of the community. You would have thought no ego whatsoever. It was a lot of fun to work, especially with the old stars.
Right. Now, was the city manager's position there in Beverly Hills similar to the position here? I mean, is that a similar council, a form of government?
Yeah, almost identical. The city manager is hired to do the day-to-day operation of the city, hired by the city council members.
Right.
And it was just the same there as it is here.
That's tremendous. Golly. Well, then you are very active, not only here as you were there, but day in and day out. It sounds like the city of Spartanburg's really got a lot going on.
Yeah, I didn't come here to retire. I came here because we have a lot of exciting things going on. And it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week kind of job, only it's really a passion more than it is a job. Good people here. That's what brought me here, is good people and just a great place. And we've got some good things going on.
That's tremendous. Well, I know a lot of folks talk about the fun they have on certain holidays, even July 4th last Friday, a lot going on. You were actually out working on the 4th, spending time cruising the city. There's things going on all the time. Holidays, it's tough to take holidays in big cities oftentimes, albeit Spartanburg's not too big a city. Give viewers a little sense of some of the facts of the city of Spartanburg.
Well, what I enjoy about Spartanburg is that Spartanburg is the center of activity in this county.
Right.
When I was in Beverly Hills, I used to say we were the hole in the donut because we were surrounded by Los Angeles on all sides.
Oh, yeah.
In Spartanburg, I like to say we're the whole donut because we really have the civic infrastructure. We are the center of activity, the seats of government, the home of the colleges. We've got great colleges here in Spartanburg County. The arts, the big churches. So we really have a great variety of living opportunities. And so I'd say the community is just 40,000 people in population,
right.
But we actually are pretty much the hometown to 270,000 people. 270,000 people
Right.
that live in Spartanburg County. Most of them will claim to be from Spartanburg, and they are,
Right.
and we embrace all of them.
Right.
So that's really the kind of community we are.
For our viewers in the PD, we're Florence County. The county seat there is the city of Florence. Down at the beach in Horry County, we've got the city, the county seat is, of course, the city of Conway. So it's great that you have a county here where the big city is actually the same county name. It gives a real opportunity, as you say, for the entire community to claim that city, this city, as their own.
Yeah, in fact, I think you'll find in talking to my mayor, he is really claimed as the mayor for everyone in Spartanburg County. But I will say at the same time, we have a wonderful relationship with our county counterparts.
Right.
Jeff Horton, our county council chairman,
Right.
and the entire team that they've got. We work together in Spartanburg County. We do quite well together.
That's tremendous. How about the city council here? Is there a lot of interaction between the 7 members of city council and your staff, you and the 425 plus employees in the city of Spartanburg? How has that relationship been, Mark?
Well, absolutely. There's a great deal of interaction. These are our elected officials. These are our leaders, and collectively, they are my boss.
Right.
And we work with them day in, day out. I get to work with a mayor and 6 city council members who are extremely devoted to what they do, looking out for the community's interests. We have a lot of fun working together.
Is there a degree in college to become a city manager? How does one become a city manager? What did you study to set the stage for you to get into management of a city?
I would say that most city managers come through a public administration program,
Okay.
which I did undergrad. And then when I got to my graduate program, I got an MBA, so I chose to go the business route.
Right.
And I think that's getting to be the more, as common as an approach as any at this point.
Right. Of course, studying anything in school, and particularly getting an MBA, could set the stage for anything. Was there a passion for you at an early age that set the stage to become a city manager? Do you have a family member, a relative who'd been a city manager? What spurred that?
You know, it's funny you ask, because when I was in 4th grade, I remember my dad was a teacher, and we were doing a segment on local government and local history. And I lived in Fresno, California. My dad took me through the back alleys and all the little places to show me the ins and outs of how cities operate. And that was in 4th grade. I ended up writing a paper saying I wanted to be a city manager.
Oh, come on. In
Absolutely.
4th grade. I don't believe it. You can't tell fibs. Really?
In 4th grade. The only thing I will say, though, since then, I also wanted to be a lawyer,
Right.
a diplomat, a
Yeah.
professional baseball player. But I came back to city management. That's right.
I think I saw you work for American Airlines at one time, which was exciting, and maybe even kicked off the Advantage Frequent Flyer program. That's a pretty big deal. A lot of folks, was that one of the first frequent flyer programs in the country of any of the airlines?
Absolutely. But American Airlines, where I went to work after business school,
Right.
they were going through deregulation,
Right.
and they were looking for clever marketing programs, and they came up with, I didn't,
Right.
the Advantage program, which was the first of the frequent flyer programs. And I was asked to be in charge of the marketing of that program because I had written a report that said, I don't think this program will work. And the vice president said, well, you're wrong, but I like the way you think, and I got the job. So
I love it.
That's how I ended up there.
he did not know about your fourth grade report.
That's right.
So he didn't know that you were ultimately going to leave him to get into city management. That's a great idea. It's good being able to, like a debater, take both sides.
Yeah.
Ultimately, the frequent flyer program has clearly had a tremendous impact over the years on the airline industry.
Yeah, I think the program has been great. For me, the experience in the private sector was very valuable, and I learned a lot in those years.
Do you still have family in California, Mark?
I do. I've got my parents are still in Fresno, so I make common trips back there.
Oh, yeah.
And I get a chance to see some family. But I actually have a brother in North Carolina, a daughter in Richmond, Virginia. So we're the first generation moving back to the east.
Well, that's a big move east. It's not like you moved to Oklahoma or moved to Kansas. You all both came to the Carolinas. That's a big deal.
That's right. It's a good place to be.
Yeah. Speaking of Fresno, there's a great one of the leaders of the Fox Broadcasting Network, Harry Pappas, has a station there in Fresno and had done some amazing things for many, many years.
Absolutely. Channel 26.
That's right. KMPH, I believe. Yeah.
KMPH, and for years their lead weather guy has been Kopi Soteropoulos, my high school cheerleader.
Is that right?
I feel very fond of Channel 26.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. He really helped kick off the Fox Kids Network, which became so popular in the 80s and 90s with kids all over the country. That Pappas had really done a lot about that. That's amazing. You know, you think about here in Spartanburg, as we talked about so many activities, you mentioned the colleges. What are the colleges here in the city of Spartanburg, or a little bit even the surrounding area?
The college, when I looked at moving to this area, and I found this little community that could boast of 6 colleges. Yeah. I thought it was a typo. I couldn't believe this could be true. Yeah. And I'll probably make a mistake by naming them, but with Wofford and Converse, USC Upstate, Spartanburg Methodist College, Spartanburg Community College, and Sherman College, the College of Straight Chiropractic, if I said that right.
Yes.
We literally have 6 colleges within this very small ring around the city of Spartanburg.
Amazing. And a couple of them are literally a stone's throw, or at least a good drive shot from this Memorial Auditorium.
That's right. We've got 2 gorgeous campuses right in the middle of our downtown. And then on top of that, USC Upstate is building their new business school right in the heart of our downtown. So we're quite excited and quite well supported.
That's a big deal. What is the, and you said about 40,000 permanent residents here, albeit as you said, almost the entire county of north of 250,000 consider themselves part of the city. Now that can have some big pluses, but also some minuses there when those folks are looking to tap on many of the services of the city of Spartanburg. That's a big deal. That's a double-edged sword oftentimes. I guess you all have made a lot more of the positives out of it.
There's no choice, really. You make the best of what you've got. And sometimes in South Carolina, it's hard on cities. We're dealt kind of a shorthand when it comes to revenues. But, you know, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's set up. So the only choice I've got is to look to the positives. We got great positives, and that's what we go with.
That's great. Any big capital improvements over the next 5 years? I'm sure you all have a city master plan. Is that something that's recrafted annually, or something that's constantly updated, or every 5 years? How does that work, Mark?
We do our capital budgeting every year, but we do it on a 10-year forecast so that we're always looking out 10 years. And we've got master plans where it makes sense to have them in our downtown with our parks. This year, we probably got more capital projects going than any city our size anywhere. I mean,
really?
It's a very aggressive program that we're working on. Really focuses a great deal on our parks and on our neighborhoods.
Right.
It also, with the business school coming, we're building a parking garage that is a very expensive prospect in the downtown area. We're cleaning up an old landfill that has needed to be cleaned up. Right. We're expanding and improving our airport.
Right.
So we've got a lot of things going on, a lot of community-focused, neighborhood-focused projects. We're excited about it.
That really must be, I've got to ask, is that an international airport with the BMW presence here and probably a lot of flights coming in from all over?
Well,
So-
the big Greenville Spartanburg Airport
Okay.
is definitely an international
Okay,
airport.
yes.
And supports us very well. And
Right.
then we also have our little local city
Okay,
airport,
forgive
which
me,
is a general aviation airport.
Right, right.
And we think both of them are serving us well.
Yeah, yeah. Mark, you know, so much happens within a city. And when you think about capital improvements, obviously you highlighted some big ones. I believe there's a big community center. Is there a community or a cultural center not far from here that we may have passed last week, going to one of the local restaurants?
Yeah,
A magnificent, beautiful facility.
yeah, it's gorgeous, and I hope you get a chance to spend some time there, and I hope
Yes.
everyone in the state gets a chance.
Yes.
It's a brand new Spartanburg Cultural Center, which it's run by the Arts Partnership of Greater Spartanburg. It has a 500-seat theater, beautiful, intimate theater, and it's got museums, and it's got dance studios, and it's reaching out to our entire community.
That's tremendous. Mark, what's a typical day like for you? Is there such thing as a typical day? Of course, this is a Thursday morning. You're sitting here in the auditorium on TV at 7 a.m. for a station down in the Myrtle Beach area. But what's a typical day like for you if you weren't here in the auditorium at 7 a.m.?
I think what's nice about being a city manager is there's no typical day. And one day I may be working on public safety issues. Another day I may be working on city planning issues. It just will change by the needs of the day. It's always focusing on people issues. It's always focusing on how do we do the best to reach out to the people in our community that need our help the most and want to have our support in living their lives the comfortable way they'd like to live them. So I'd say the typical day is just trying to remind people that what we're really trying to do is serve the people who live here.
That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Well, I'm so fascinated driving through the community last week during the pageant and seeing how the community really wrapped around folks from all over the state. That's a great example, probably one of the best examples annually of people traveling in, and you know they're coming in from all parts of the state because it is literally young ladies representing all parts of the state. But to see a lot of smiling faces, it's kind of like the state motto, the smiling places, or smiling faces, beautiful places. I mean, this is a great testament of that. A lot of arms open, a lot of hands waving at many of the contestants and their families from all over the state.
Well, you just said it. And I think this is the thing that people don't understand about pageants these days. It's families. When you look at the contestants who were here last week with the Miss South Carolina pageant, they're walking on the streets and you see the entire families are part of this. It is a great family event that hits Spartanburg. Several hundred people come in, just contestants,
Oh, yeah.
and then all of the families that come with them.
Right.
We have a great time with this program.
Right.
The entire community reaches out, and they reach
yeah.
out to us. There's really a two-way involvement.
Right.
It's just a really renewing kind of experience to watch these terrific young women
Right.
of all ages, because they bring in little kids as well
yeah.
as the contestants that are the ones you see on TV.
Right.
And they are such good kids.
Right.
They're just clean-cut, wonderful kids. So we love having this pageant in our city.
Well, I know there were hundreds coming in from that. Joe Sanders was with us on Monday. And, of course, last week I was sequestered from the crowd as one of the judges of the pageant. But he had shared that earlier in the week, one of the days where they opened it up to even local citizens, I think this is a 3,000-seat auditorium, he said one day it was packed, where they charge only $5 to let folks in to come see some of the rehearsals. But literally, there must be a lot of folks, as you say, from the community who are really wrapping around. I'm sure it's not just for the Miss South Carolina pageant, probably a lot of other great events that you all host up here, particularly with all these college students up here, that the community wraps around.
Yeah, it's the fun of being in a community this size. In Beverly Hills, you wouldn't even know when some big event hit town because there's always a big event.
Oh, yeah.
In a town like Spartanburg, everybody knows what's going on. It's really fun.
We've just got 5 minutes, Mark, and you highlighted some of the tremendous families here. Do you have family? You mentioned your daughter, I think, in Richmond. You've got a son as well, I believe, and is your bride here as well?
That's right. My wife's doing great work here. She's working as the executive director of the Children's Museum of the Upstate, which
Right.
is in Greenville. We would
Good.
rather have her in Spartanburg, but she can't fundraise in my backyard because I'm a city manager. So she's the next town over in Greenville, and they're
Right.
creating a great place. The Children's Museum there will be a great place, and I think everybody will be real proud of the work she and her group have done
Right.
in that community as well.
And your son, is he here as well, or?
He just decided he's a Californian and
Oh,
moved
yeah.
back. He's 24, and
I love it.
I think it's okay. He's got a good job with an exhibit design firm, and he's having some fun.
Your daughter's still on the East Coast.
She's on the East Coast working in Richmond, Virginia, and she's also doing well. So
That is great.
we're happy.
You know, of course, for you there, when you were living in California and the city manager there in Beverly Hills, as you said, you were commuting into Beverly Hills. Here, you're actually able to live in the city of Spartanburg.
Absolutely, and that's the joy of the whole experience. I am literally 5 minutes from my office now, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with these CDs that I used to play all the way through and then some on one trip into work. And now I can't get through 2 songs, so I've got excess CDs if anyone needs them.
I can't believe it. In a city where it's all about bikes, I see a lot of biking going on. I probably won't be surprised till the day comes when you start biking to the office. It looks, there's bikes all over. Right here in front of the auditorium, there's a bike statue.
We have a new tribute that was just done to John Bryan, who started the Assault on Mount Mitchell program years ago.
Right.
Major biking event in this
Right.
country.
Right.
And John is just retiring from that role, and they just put up a tribute to him out in front of the auditorium.
Right.
This is the first designated bike-friendly city in all of South Carolina.
Come on.
By the League of American Cyclists, and we've got the bronze designation, and this community is going for gold. We're going to try to get the gold.
That is tremendous. What's got to happen to get the gold? Do you know? There's a lot of work, I'm sure.
I think, among other things, the city manager has to start riding his bicycle to work.
We're going to get it on camera.
That's right.
I love it. God, well, you know, there are so many amazing, and of course, to think about the 12,000 students when they matriculate to town annually, that does not impact your permanent population. So your city really grows in size, albeit you can't take credit for that on the city population side.
Right. We will claim them any way we can claim them. They're good kids,
Yeah.
and this is a community that gets along with its college kids. So we want them all to come here and enjoy 4 years, or if they're like me, more than 4 years of their college life in Spartanburg. And then we want them to come back later and either move or bring their families or start their businesses.
Or graduate school here, and the MBA program, I believe, which you said is moving into the heart of town.
Right
into downtown, which is a
Right.
great testament to the city. Obviously, some tremendous business schools nationwide, right in the heart of folks' downtowns, but a lot of folks wouldn't be moving in normally. That's a great testament to what you all must be doing right here in the heart of town.
Yeah, we're excited.
You know, speaking of bike riding, that's a great hobby for a lot of folks. What do you do for fun, Mark?
I got to tell you, my job is fun. I mean, I don't have a good answer for your question.
Right.
I never work a day in my life. What I do gives me so much chance to interact with the community, whether it's going to the different churches, whether it's going to the events that happen in this town. I'm constantly engaged in one aspect or another of the civic community.
That's tremendous. Well, it shows, Mark. Thanks so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us this morning.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. A little more of Mark Scott, the city manager for the city of Spartanburg, coming up next. Viewers, I know you're sitting out there thinking, Greg, why didn't you ask Mark, what do you like best about the city of Spartanburg? I'll tell you why, because he would have been talking and talking and talking, and the interview would have gone on. I would have never had a chance to get another question in there. Didn't you get the sense of that? Sitting here, a lot going on in the city of Spartanburg, a lot of amazing things, not only here in the auditorium, not only out on the streets as folks are bike riding all over, not only when all the students are rolling into town and big international festivals are being held or July 4th events, there's things going on here on a year-round basis, day in and day out. Mark Scott and all the employees in the city are making a difference every day. Learn a little more about that from their mayor, Bill Barnett. Come back tomorrow to learn more about the city of Spartanburg. Mark, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.